from Uganda will pass through Webuye. The accused, a 54-year-old man, has been arrested and awaits to be arraigned as investigations are underway on where the lorry was coming from. Meanwhile, the ward representative of Kakamega County, Elsie Muhanda, has requested the Ministry of Education to set aside funds in every county that will be used to finance the purchasing and distribution of sanitary towels across the country.
Well, there you go. Those are just some of the stories making headlines, of course, from our news desk. However, more will be coming to you in our subsequent bulletins later on in the day at 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 7 and 9 p.m. respectively. But
of course, at this moment, Ankey, the biggest headlines now as we wake up is that the fuel prices, you know, we say 159 in Nairobi, but essentially the guys were getting it at 162 shillings. Whoa! Oof. I don't know where we're headed, and they tell us the inflation is still at 7.1%. I don't understand how.
And they say, it's bound to get higher.
Yeah, actually.
Already we're looking at oil prices are higher. We're looking at, flour, is it maize, everything. Living standards are way up over there, and people are already starving. The last time we checked in the newspaper, people are dying of hunger. What next? Let's find out in the comment section from your views and opinions. But right now, the newspaper review is coming in shortly. What exactly is in the dailies?
Pretty much. Welcome back. This is your newspaper review this morning. Remember, you can catch us live across all our social media platforms at Look Up TV. I am at Ankey Dorice Simba on our Twitter. Ankey, good morning again.
Good morning, Simba. I am pretty much looking at the Daily Nation this morning. I am curious and I'm yet to
battle leading presidential contenders are flogging issues that could compromise a free and fair poll and are actively documenting them in what is seen as a gathering evidence that could come in handy if they find themselves challenging the outcome of the Supreme Court, raising questions on exactly how the election is supposed to go. They're raising the integrity. The other day they were talking about whether the digital register is tamper-proof. They're talking about the transmission of the results in areas where there's no 3G coverage, because the Constitution is quite clear on the transmission. So they're asking the IEBC, if indeed then you're saying that the election is going to be free, fair and credible. Answer these questions. That is the first story on page 1 of the Standard. What does Nation have on page 1?
Oh my goodness, I like that, people are being put on their toes as far as the election is concerned. However, the Daily Nation has in 100 days, and this is pretty much Raila Odinga against Ruto. If you were to see that page, evidently I'm seeing just besides each other is Raila and Ruto, and what we're looking at is their manifestos and what they're planning to achieve in 100 days in power if elected. I see, can I read a bit of this against the other? I will not read the entire thing, but same old story, that's what they're asking. Is it a same old story? From a hustler fan to Babacare, livestock insurance, and the automation of revenue collection. William Ruto and Raila Odinga are promising revolutionary economic and social protection measures in their first 100 days in office, and that in their audacity of hope look good on paper and have the potential to change for the better the livelihoods of millions who have been caught in a poverty time wrap.
Yes.
Now, Kenyans have been here before, Simba, and many are wondering whether the rhetoric and promise could ever find life outside the postures of the political class. That is what we're looking at. And the questioning, really, you have been in the game for the longest time. They're actually, you know, still in power-ish. We're looking at the opposition now, the handshake. He's a former prime minister as well. And Ruto, being in the same government, he claims has failed. In the next 100 days, or in the 100 days, the first 100 days, what different thing can they do? That's what they're asking on the Daily Nation. Simba.
That's exactly what we're looking at. Now, the Standard has taken quite a different approach to the manifesto.
Okay.
In fact, they've taken this guy's analysis. His name is Dennis Kabara, who's saying, well, if you look at the manifestos, they are the same, essentially. And then he's saying there was a moment when Azimio had a platform, lack of policy positions notwithstanding. They're saying utu, undugu, usawa, umoja, and uzalishaji. Now, that was the manifesto, not the mixed messaging around the 10-point agenda, which is essentially a different wording from what UDA and Kenya Kwanza coalition have. Think about it.
So what you're saying is the manifestos are pretty much the same, the agenda is the same, different wording.
Paraphrasing. Ankey, can I ask you a question? This morning, somebody tells you, we are for the hustlers. We want you to have, you know, to improve your economic lives. That is Kenya Kwanza. Raila Amolo Odinga comes and tells you, well, I'm just going to put money in your pocket, the 6,000 for the vulnerable families, and I want to see the youth in this country prosper. What are you saying is not different, it's just something, different wording.
Same thing, different wordings. What are your thoughts back at home? One thing I have picked here, now that I am pretty much a Kenyan, is that in the Azimio One Kenya coalition, one of the things they have listed is that they will reduce the cost of unga, sugar and farm input. Simba.
Yes.
They will do that. And Kazim Tahani program for the youth. What is different?
What is different?
Okay.
I mean, from whatever the other side are promising, that is what Dennis Kabara is questioning. He's saying, I mean, you'd rather tell us things about utu, usawa, umoja, undugu, you know, uzalishaji, as opposed to these things that you're promising, which you might actually not get to do. Because if you remember, they have been promising this for quite some time now.
And now they're saying they will make this happen in 100 days. All right. Also, remember, we have 54 days to go. That is 54 days to go for the general elections. Thank you very much for always updating us on that. We cannot assume or ignore the fact that pain at the pump is taking center stage and making headlines today. And fuel prices hit record high in latest review. Now, prices of petrol, diesel, and kerosene jumped by 9 shillings a litre, and of course setting the stage for further increases in the cost of living at a time when inflation has hit a 27-month high.
Yes.
That is serious, Simba. You get more of that on the back page, though.
It's quite serious. Now, it's a good thing that you're talking about that. Let me just see exactly what the Business Daily is also talking about on that particular one. You see, Ankey, this is how we have to understand this entire fuel hikes and all that. Right now, across the world, that's a global phenomenon. We do know that fuel prices have jumped up, so you cannot really look at the government and say, Nishida henyu, serikali said no. In fact, they're helping. But now the question is, though, you see now, oil marketers in the country are getting paid to sell at a loss. Apparently, the fuel subsidy, which is actually the government has also done this time.
Yes.
But the question is then, should we get done away with the fuel subsidy? Because we do know in this country, taxes on oil or whatever fuel account for more than half of the price of a litre. So the government is in a 50-50 position because they know they are raking in a lot of money from the fuel taxes that are in this country. But then they are now at the option, should they remove this fuel subsidy? We do know that they're struggling. Then the prices will hike, which they do not want to do.
Yes.
But now, again, if they remove this subsidy and then cut back on those taxes again, it might be a bit cheaper as well. Yes.
My goodness, this looks like a dilemma. If I were in power, I don't know for sure what I would do. We're going to delve deeper again into the papers. We're looking at a lot more happening with the robbery in Rongai and a lot more even in the pullouts. But don't go too far away. You want to know more on the dailies? We come back with Simba still on the review after this very, very short breather.
Pretty much.
Yippee! Kamata plotting at 349k. Oh yes, for only 349,000 Kenyan shillings, you become a plot owner at the Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki. The Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki is located along the Nanyuki-Rumuruti Road, only 11 minutes from the Cedar Mall and right opposite Mount Kenya Wildlife Estate. This is the best place to establish the getaway home that you have always dreamt about. For every 349,000 that you deposit or pay as installment towards any of Optiven's plot of land, you get 10k cash back instantly. Jaza basi twende Nanyuki. Bigger is indeed better.
Yeah.
Are you looking to turn your passion to purpose? Vera Beauty and Fashion College now brings you online classes at the comfort of your home. We are a TVET-approved institution with over 20 years experience in training competency-based courses in fashion design and creative arts, cosmetology, hairdressing, beauty therapy, interior design in soft furnishings, event decoration and flower arrangement, hospitality and catering, and training of trainers. To enroll, call us today on 0704 577 577 or visit our website at www.verabeautycollege.com. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a center of excellence.
Help me identify a beautiful womb. I never came across one till I got to Vera.
Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Drift, the Morning Drift. Wow. Simba, get in the game. All right, we're still on the newspaper review. Catch us live at Look at TV across all your social media platforms. Ankey, there's a very interesting story here that I gotta ask you. Have you read the book, How to Kill Your Husband?
Oh, I should.
You should.
I should.
Because in the person behind it, this lady called, what is that? Let me just go to that story.
How to kill your husband is very easy, man. I mean, just nag, quarrel, cry about finances over and over. He'll die.
And then your husband would die.
He'll
but
die.
there's a literally. Now, there's an author who actually wrote How to Kill Your Husband and then went ahead and used the skills that she had actually authored in a story and then killed her husband.
No.
That's it. Her name is Nancy Crompton Brophy. Shot the husband for a 176 million shillings life insurance payout.
So when she actually wrote this book, she was intentional.
That's it.
How long ago did she write the book, and how then do we see her get in action?
We need to read that story on page 3 of the Standard.
My goodness.
Yeah.
What a world.
How to kill your husband, literally.
Oh my goodness. I'm not even going to laugh about it. I thought it was funny at the beginning, but ladies, we need to talk. We need to have a conversation. But of course, we can see here the developing story of the Rongai robbery, and of course, still making headlines even in the dailies. 240,000 shillings withdrawal that gave away Rongai robbery prime suspect. And of course, the police are seeking to confirm the involvement of a man in their custody with a chilling robbery caught on, of course, CCTV cameras. Like I said yesterday, please get yourselves those CCTV cameras installed in your compounds, rather.
They do help, isn't it? All right, since we're talking about issues of degrees as we're waiting for... Sakaja has a development, by the way. I want to tell you that. So apparently, UON went and listed him in the list of alumni.
How?
I don't know. He wasn't there previously.
No, he wasn't. Did they not declare?
His name popped up as an alumni for the university.
And Kenyans will vote for him.
Yeah.
I just have to say it that way.
Are you going to vote?
Vote for him or vote?
No, are you going to vote?
Why not?
You're going to vote.
Isn't it my democratic right to vote?
It's a right, so you can do it or not do it. So.
Well, it's my, am I supposed to declare that out here?
No, I mean, it's the thing. I mean, yeah, it's your right. Have you ever, yeah, that's it. Have you ever had guys getting arrested for not voting?
No,
why? Or for saying that they are not going to vote?
Why can't we twist this question to you?
Ask me, please.
I don't want to. I'll ask you later. Now you have strategized. And of course, another development as far as degrees is concerned, two voters, Simba, want Wavinya locked out on, quote-unquote, fake degree. Actually, that page, that same story is also covered on page 7 of the Standard. But guess what? Is it a coincidence? It's also on page 7 of the Daily Nation. Yeah, think about it. Guess what? Wavinya Ndeti follows me, by the way, on Twitter. Thank you very much. No, hold on. Ankey, it's true. It is true. Okay, we follow each other. Irrelevant. Let me not say it. We follow each other. Irrelevant. But because what I want to tell you next is going to make it very, very relevant. Okay. Then. All right. Now, since then we follow each other on Twitter. This morning she did update a picture way back then, yeah, of her in a graduation gown with everything that shows that indeed she did graduate. So this is also something that we're waiting to see exactly what that bench is going to do in terms of determining whether her degree is fake or not. I remember you saying you have old photos of you in your graduation gown, so I think she listened to you. And now that you follow each other, did you post it as well? I liked the picture, though. You do? You liked it? Yeah. Did you retweet it? All right, guys. Now, there is something about celebrating athletes in this country, athletics for that matter. But now, on page 2 of the Daily Nation, a family of athletes stuck in a Mexican jail appeals for help. Sometimes I really scratch my head, I ponder. I try to figure out if the government really cares about countries, of course, Kenyans in other countries. You know, I'm comparing this to, you know, Saudi Arabia issues, and now there's this amazing athlete stuck in a Mexican jail for whatever reason. Yeah. Has Kenyans spoken on this issue? Have we heard the spokesperson, have we heard the government talk about this particular athlete? Is there development? And why they stuck in this country without the government really doing much about it? My question. Quite a long time on it. But for me, when it comes to these issues, I mean, it's the very first time that we're getting this. I mean, it's a good thing you're mentioning about the Saudi Arabia stories and all that. I think that a government is a bit laxer when we hear Kenyans are suffering somewhere in a different state, because it's not the very first time then you would hear this particular story then come to the light. Isn't it? If it's a public story, it's a story in public domain, then we should have it solved, isn't it? Maybe it's the very first time it's getting highlighted. Really? Maybe we should check a follow-up on us. All right, no, we need to do that. And also help us with the updates. If you do have any developments on that story, it is at Lookup TV live right now on Facebook, and use the hashtag The Morning Drift on Twitter. Now, Ruto dismisses fake polls, vows to win in the first round. Everyone seems to be leading, you know, with a landslide. That's it. Everybody keeps on saying first round, first round, first round. 70%, 50% upwards. Those are the numbers that we're getting. Can't wait. Can't wait as well. That's it. Because then but it's going to be confident, isn't it? Ankey, you can't say, well, they say they're going to lead in the first round as we're going to go into the second round. No, you can't say that. This thing is tricky, Simba. I don't see anyone conceding, but I also hope there will be peace. But you never concede. But you should concede. We've seen that in the United States of America. We've seen people actually say, well, he's won and I let it go. But in this country, well, I think the Supreme Court better be armed and ready. And of course, they're saying here they have tried all means. All that is left is the use of fake opinion polls and spread of propaganda that they shall steal my votes. I thought we got over this steal my votes, you know, vocabularies 2 months or so ago. Anyway, read the dailies and you will see it, you know, resurface again. Pretty much. But did you see what Raila said, Simba? What did he say, though? On the dailies, he's saying, I'll bring water to Kambani. But it's possible, though, isn't it? But my question, my question is not whether you will or you will not, that we need to put you to task. If you're ascending to power, then you should tell us where is that water that you promised. You know, that's the one thing we never get to do, isn't it? Because, Ankey, if we put these politicians to task and tell them, well, come here, sit here. This is what you say during your campaign. Where is it? Did you just say, come here, come sit here. Tell us, where is that water that you said you're going to give us in 100 days? Where is it? Well, let's see. Let's see if Kenyans are woke that much. Because I don't think we are. Let's find out. This time it's probably different. You think so? I believe so. I'm positive. I am positive Kenyans It's a different breed of Kenyans, guys. Oh, yeah. And apparently, you do know that we're following, Mbuvi Sonko's case.
Oh, yeah?
Clearance, verification, issues of impeachment, pretty much corruption. And now we're seeing Kalonzo, the Wiper Party leader, backing Sonko in IEBC case, where he says that is on page 6 of the Daily Nation, there was no legal basis for the returning officer to reject the nomination of Mr. Sonko or refuse to clear him as a candidate, in the words of Kalonzo Musyoka.
And it's an ongoing case, isn't it? Because
yes,
then Sonko argues that, you see, his impeachment case is still going on in the courts. It's not being determined. And IBC says that if you have been impeached, but then there's a petition to that impeachment. So Sonko is arguing under what basis? Because that impeachment is getting challenged in court. But we need to see exactly what comes out of that ruling as well.
But of course, Kalonzo is a counsel.
Is that what?
He's a counsel. I mean, he is a legal practitioner.
Also by association of...
so he understands how the constitution works, the judiciary. So he's not coming in as a politician, easy. He's probably coming in as a member of the bar.
That's it.
I like my words this morning.
Also by... So we look at we just look at the business daily quickly again as we
yes.
wrap
And
up on that.
I want to really know what's going on in business.
All right. So exactly what's going on. Page 3 of the business daily. SACCOs inching closer to lending each other. You know.
Oh really?
Yeah. SACCO movement in this country is very strong.
Okay.
That's why I keep on telling people: are you in a SACCO? If you're not in a SACCO, then you should be getting into a SACCO. But then if you look at how now SACCOs can actually send your name to CRBs. That's it. We were given that green light by the Central Bank of Kenya.
Yes.
And then now, SACCOs have not been able to lend to each other. You see, the banks there's interbank lending rates. We do know that banks lend to each other, and that's why this particular industry has been quite strong under the financial services sector. Now, this new one, under this framework, SACCOs might be able to lend to each other. Which is very okay, because you know SACCOs have to source for this money. Now, once that money then is available within that particular framework, then you're talking about cheaper lending rates among the SACCOs, and SACCOs will be getting stronger and stronger. It's not very okay when you hear that your SACCO cannot be able to give you a loan because they have no money.
Worrying.
It's a big worry.
Yes.
I think this is a positive one. I read much more on that on page 3 of the Business Daily as well. Yes.
If you joined the SACCO, I like that you asked that, and really 18 years and above.
You should be in a SACCO.
You should be in a SACCO.
You should be in a SACCO.
Get more from Simba. And of course, Simba, would you then, wear your masks if it was made mandatory again?
Immediately.
Due to coronavirus?
Yeah, I actually do wear my mask.
Oh, you do?
Today, yeah.
I haven't seen you. Oh, you work today?
Yeah, I work today. Every time I'm in a public space and closed space, I put it on.
This is a public space. Okay.
Yeah.
But coronavirus, the experts now call for the return of masks, and experts from the Lake region, economic bloc now say there is urgent need for reinstating COVID-19 rapid testing, mass vaccinations, and the mask mandate. What are your thoughts on that particular highlight? Would love to hear from you. Remember, this is supposed to be as engaging as possible, so I'll check Facebook comments shortly. But Simba says he's already wearing his mask. What are you guys doing with yourselves? It's important.
Pretty much something to also look at. But I've seen a story on how counties now, the Senate House has approved the bill for extra funding to the counties. Catch that story. I think we're going to cover that story as well in a news today, because I did see somebody talk about it in the newsroom group. Like, this is a story that we need to focus on.
Yes.
Your county has been given additional funds, ranging from around 1.23 billion all the way to around 959 million. I saw that is the county that received the least amount in terms of this additional funding to the counties as well.
All right,
yes.
Nice. I think that's good news, or not, for the counties. But of course, now we're looking at a lot of, agricultural factors. And you had a beautiful conversation yesterday, Simba, on agribusiness. However, a story making headlines on number 22 as far as county news is concerned. There is an issue in Uasin Gishu where farmers accuse officials of bias in fertilizer allocation. Really, why are we having back and forth as far as food security is concerned? Everything is hitting us. Fuel price is going to hit us, maize flour. Now there's bias in fertilizer. People are dying hungry in certain counties. What is it? I think a hungry nation is an angry nation.
It is. And For me, when I look at all the presidents we've had, case in point, let me not go very far back.
Okay.
The Jubilee government, when they came into power in 2013, they said they're going to make this country food secure in 5 years.
In 5 years.
What are the
They've been aiming
headlines?
for 10.
10. What are the headlines that we're reading? Maize shortage. We're importing onions. We're importing fruits. We can't export our own products because we are not even sufficient by ourselves. Now, for me, is the biggest failure for any other government that comes in and says we are into power. You can't make Kenya food secure. Then what is your responsibility as a government?
Big question, and I'm going to ask you this time, Simba. Would you rather a car or food in your house?
Food in my house. How's that?
So, why are we not really treating this one nation as a family? Gava, Miss Kanja, by the way. I had to say that on live television. I like always to assume that President Uhuru Kenyatta is watching as well. So before he leaves power, just know that a lot of your children are hungry out here. My fans of football says, how you know I'm a fan. Who's your favorite player? And please don't talk about rugby.
No, I'm not going to talk about rugby.
Okay, who's your favorite player?
Martin Odegaard.
Huh?
Martin Odegaard.
Ha!
Yeah.
Anyway,
I can just say
FKF
that you
Premier
don't
League.
know what I said or who I said.
I know it's Martin.
It's the very first time you heard that name?
No, I know that name. Ask Chacha. I've told him about that name before. But Coach Matano says he will complete his contract at Tusker after threatening to leave the league champion, citing lack of respect. Really, Simba, if you don't respect me here, I'm going to stop working with you.
Here's the thing. But since you're talking about sport, I have to laugh at Man United for just a little tiny
laugh
bit.
at them?
Yeah, for just 30 seconds.
Okay.
Now, Liverpool signed this guy called Nunes, Darwin.
I know him.
Yes. Now, here's the thing. If you look at all the headlines about how Man United are behaving in this transfer market, they are linked to every single player in the market, this one being the latest one. So now they're called Linked FC. They've bought no one. We don't know who they're going to buy. But then Liverpool just snatched Darwin Nunes. Now the Standard is saying why Man United did not go for Nunes. But in reality, we should say why Man United could not think of going for Darwin Nunes. I mean, this is a dead club even before we start the 2020 to 2023
Manchester United, I had nothing to do with everything that Simba has said. However, Simba, I wanted to also find out how your journey was here today. Every morning, pretty much things happen on the road.
Yeah.
Was it easy for you?
Smooth today.
Oh, yeah?
They fixed the Mombasa Road Sibwa line construction area.
How about the potholes that everyone was complaining about? Is it still one lane? Is it still squeezed to one lane?
No, it's not squeezed. It's
fast.
fantastic now. It's been cleared out. Everything looks good.
Then that's exciting. I want to hear more on the Arrival Live. We're coming in shortly with my guest and Simba. There's been something about we don't do enough when it comes to behavior, attitudes, and culture on the road. So it's not really the nature of the roads, not the police. Something about behavior.
Our culture.
Yes.
That's it. Our culture. Can I tell you something before you cross over? If you are following traffic rules in this country, you are the worst driver on a Kenyan road.
Allow me to really, Simba. Let me hear from the guest shortly. This is the Arrival Live coming up shortly.
Yeah.
Are you looking to turn your passion to purpose? Vera Beauty and Fashion College now brings you online classes at the comfort of your home. We are a TVET approved institution with over 20 years experience in training competency